Can't hear you yet. Are you muted, Scott?
I don't have. Go back. All right, we're gonna get started. Have your attention. All right, I'd like to call the August 26th Board of Supervisors meeting for Fallowfield Township to order. We're going to start with a silent meditation and then the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so before we get started, I wanted to review the resolution 2025-15, establishing rules for public participation at Board of Supervisors meeting. I just wanted to go over.
Call me back in about 3.
All right, so in our last meeting back in July, we presented this resolution on public participation, reviewed the rules of participation, and I just wanted to go over them just so that everybody understands the expectations. This is the Board of Supervisors meeting, and so this is our meeting, and it is not a town hall, it's not a Q&A. It is a meeting for the township supervisors to do business on very specific topics on our agenda. We established these rules of participation in accordance with the Sunshine Act. Every township has rules of participation. Some townships have rules of participation that are more stringent than what we have. We just felt that it was really important to bring some structure and order to our meetings and to, allow for everyone to have a voice. So the 3-minute limit, which we will stick to, is so that everyone in the room has an opportunity to speak and to be heard, so that not one person can monopolize the conversation. So the Sunshine Act allows the community the right to attend, the right to comment, and the opportunity. The comments on the initial period are on the agenda items, and then the second comment period is at the end of the meeting. So we ask that you bring yourself up to the podium and give us your name and your address. If you're not comfortable giving your address, because we are publicly on YouTube, you can stay after the meeting and provide that to the township manager. And the reason that we want your name and address is so that if we bring up issues that we want to be able to respond to, we have your contact information and we can get back to you in the time we need. I forget anything.
We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. What's the approval of the minutes? Make a motion to approve the July 22nd, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Move proper second. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Any questions or comments from the residents? All right, call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We'll go on to the fire departments and the Department of Emergency Services. The July Westwood Fire Company Fire Chief's report was submitted for board and resident review. The July Westwood Fire Company EMS report submitted for board and resident review. The July Modena Fire Company Fire Chief's report was submitted for board and resident review. The July Modena Fire Company Fire Chief's report, East Fallowfield calls only, submitted for board and resident review. And the July Modena Fire Company EMS report submitted for board and resident review. I'd like to present a resolution adopting the emergency operations plan for East Fallowfield Township.
Second.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-16, adopting the East Fallowfield Township Emergency Operations Plan. Was that your second?
Aaron did second.
Okay,
Second.
yeah, okay. Are there any comments or questions from the board? It's a pretty comprehensive plan.
It is.
Claire, just wanted to mention that Tony Cerna, our emergency management coordinator, is here. So if there are any
Hey, Tony.
questions, he could answer that.
If there are any questions for Tony?
Or Tony, do you want to give a brief reason why we have this? We'd love to hear from you.
Sure, it is a requirement by FEMA, if you ever want to get reimbursed for any major disaster, should we meet as a township, state, or county and state threshold for federal reimbursement. And we have gone, I've gone in the past to meet with FEMA, we have gotten reimbursement in some of our bigger hurricanes. So it's basically, it's a template, which has been in place for as long as I've been doing this. So probably about 30+ years since FEMA came around. That just is the guideline to make sure we touch all the steps that FEMA needs for us to seek reimbursement or to participate. FEMA is, and the program is a national standard. The standard in this item is the same across the country. You know, with some subtle variances. Counties is a little bigger because they have what's called ESF or emergency supplemental programs for big nuclear disasters, whatever, stuff we're not concerned with here primarily. So it's the guideline. And there's a template for disaster, there's a template for terrorism, you know, it's all in the rest. I didn't give you all the checks, mostly it's checklists.
Can I ask, how long is the plan good for, or do we need to update?
It's periodically county will ask for me to, and I've done it over the years to say, is the plan still current as of last June 3rd, I think it was. County said we were up to date on all our requirements. So we have this plan. There's also we have one for Brook Crossing Dam. Yeah,
It categorizes it as data.
yeah, it's categorized as a dam. So there's an emergency operations plan in place for Brook Crossing Dam.
It sounds like it's important that the county obviously kind of oversees or helps us, guides us. So they're aware of all the township's emergency.
Oh, yeah,
plans for their
absolutely.
purposes.
And they follow up if we're out of, compliance, they will follow up or ask for updates. It's like today, they asked me to do a radio check.
Send them a thank you.
You're more than welcome.
I have a question. So how will the FEMA cuts impact us? Have you,
Your guess is as good as mine. We have no idea what FEMA's gonna do next. I mean, if you believe the president, he's gonna get rid of FEMA.
any discussion now?
Not at this time. It's still subject to the government's final decisions. I mean, we shouldn't hit this threshold, but, they've already made $100,000. It has to be approved by Christie Nome before anybody can go do anything. So if it hits the 100,000 threshold, so right now, we're like, as it stands in government in Pennsylvania, lowest body first, then we go to county, and county goes to state, then state goes to the feds.
Yeah.
More welcome.
Any questions or are there any other questions or comments? Any questions from the residents?
Lights on here.
Yes.
Does the plan cover hazardous material as a result of the train crash?
Yes, the plan, FEMA's plan, and the emergency operations plan is in all hazard plans. So do I have a specific ESF for a train wreck in East Falco? No, but the county does.
Okay.
So again, if it gets beyond our capabilities, it's up to the next level of government.
It appears our biggest risk is weather.
Primarily it's weather.
All right, move to the vote. Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-16, adopting the East Fallowfield Township Emergency Operations Plan. Aye.
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 Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right. All right, so in our last meeting, we presented the, summary of our applicable board liaison positions, listed, in the agenda, and just wanted to, find out if there's any changes or if we're all good with all of these assignments.
I want to make a recommendation, since you're now on the board, and I know you've been active, you're on the Park and Rec board. It seemed a little redundant to have me as liaison, so if you didn't mind, I wanted to step away from that. I'll let you take that over.
Okay. Very, very good. Let the minutes reflect that, Supervisor Wright, will be removing himself as liaison for Park and Recreation, and that Claire Small McAvoy will be the liaison. Any other questions or comments regarding that? Okay. Move on to the treasurer's report.
Make a motion to approve the July 31, 2025 treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Dave, is there anything you want to highlight?
From last month, no.
That's pretty typical bills.
All right. Are there any questions or comments? Mike? Did you say something?
Everything, Mike, he doesn't have.
Any questions or comments from the residents? All right, call for the vote. Aye,
There's mine.
very good. All right, I make a motion to approve the payment authorizations for the period of July 23rd through August 26th, 2025, in the total amount of $697,155.32 as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board?
It's a pretty big number, Dave, compared to most months.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the road paving was approved at 301,000 and change. There were change orders. The final number came in at 341,516.25.
So half of this is paying for the completed road project from the summer.
It's a good portion of it.
Right.
We also have our EMS and fire subsidies at 120. I don't have the number right in front of me, but
Okay, because those don't hit every month, they hit every once in a while,
quarterly.
quarterly. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments from the residents? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the manager's report.
Good evening, everyone. First on the list is approval of the 25-26 Chester County Consortium bid for sodium chloride. Just a little background here. The township is part of a consortium with 25 other municipalities. For the purchase, we purchased sodium chloride through that consortium. It's a cost savings measure for the township. And this year there were 4 bidders. Chemical Equipment Labs was the low bidder at $71.17. Price went up a notch. It was $70.20 a ton last year. And there is a proposed motion in the board's packet accepting that bid.
Do you have any questions before or after the motion's done?
I would say after the motion.
I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 Chester County Consortium bid to Chemical Equipment Labs for sodium chloride for $71.17 a ton.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I guess the question is, we always have to guesstimate how much salt we're gonna need. Do we have to commit to a certain quantity, Scott, for this?
There's a minimum on there. We've always been pretty close. I believe there's a minimum that we
But
put.
they usually you're gonna buy at least this much, and then we try to
They
plan as best we can.
right. They ask for an estimate,
Yeah,
and we make a we try to uphold that.
and this is pretty routine. We've been doing this for years.
We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, so it works out really good.
Yes.
Great.
Are there any other questions or comments? Yes, please approach the podium. Thank you. State your name, please.
Philip, East Field, I'm sure. With the cost of the sodium and the commit to a certain amount, was it discussed with the company what amount would bring that price down if we committed to 40 tons, 50 tons, 100 tons? That would bring the price down, as most companies are more than willing to bring down the price towards closer to wholesale the more you buy. Were those questions asked?
This is a bid for West Bradford, so they put it out the bid. It's with 25 other municipalities, so it's a very large quantity of salt that's being purchased.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? I call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Next on the list is approval of a bulk trash day event on Saturday, October 18th. This year, 2025, it's again a Saturday. Just a little background here. This is a proposed cleanup event for township residents. It would be for household bulk items, trash. It's not for construction debris. So if someone's tearing their house down, this would not be the right event for them. But if you have a basement full of old furniture, this is the right event for you. It's a free event, although we charge, if you're bringing tires in, we would charge $5 for automotive tires. And this would be a supplement to the current program. Currently, residents can dispose of 2 bulk items a month, the first Friday. Sometimes residents have more than that, and this would give them that opportunity. I was just gonna say, if the board approves this event, we'll begin advertising it and the proposed motions in the agenda.
I make a motion to approve a bulk trash drop-off event for Saturday, October 18th, from 9 AM to 3 PM.
Second. Any questions or comments from the board?
Scott, how do we know that is it just for East Fallowfield residents, or people come from other townships nearby to try to get rid of their,
We will check IDs.
oh, you check IDs?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thanks.
Can they drop off washer, dryer, refrigerator type items?
As long as the Freon is removed and there's a tag on there, we will take appliances.
Yeah, but we're not providing that Freon removal process
We cannot remove the
they
Freon.
have to do it beforehand.
Correct.
Okay.
We'll take televisions as well. Electronics and TVs are also accepted.
I heard a question.
If there's any questions or comments, please approach the podium. Okay.
All I said was you have to remove the doors
Oh, yeah,
of the
Thank you.
freezer.
yeah, safety.
All right, are there any other questions or comments?
Just real
Yes,
quick,
Mike.
Mike, Petro, East Field.
Yes.
Is that a drop off or a pickup? Is there a drop off event?
It's at the municipal complex. Here, right here.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Right, next on the list is an agreement with TPD, for utility relocation work. This is related to the drainage pipe on Sawmill Road. I just wanted to give some brief background on that. The township, an update as well. The township has already received easements from the affected property owners. We're getting close to the finish line here. TPD has a supplemental proposal for $9,000, which they presented to me. It's for additional utility relocation work. It went above their initial proposal to us from last fall. And this would be to prepare permit applications for utilities, for the various utilities that would be submitted to DEP, and also for the work that they did to prepare the additional construction easements. TPD's telling me the project will go out to bid this fall. Assuming we move forward, this brings us to the finish line right here. The project will go out to bid this fall, and they're saying construction will likely take place in the spring of 26.
Make a motion to approve a supplemental agreement with traffic planning and design and an amount not to exceed $9,000 to complete utility relocation work related to a damaged drainage pipe on Sawmill Road.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board?
I just want to say, staff, I think identified, or somebody identified this a couple years ago. And the staff and Public Works have been pushing this to get done as quickly as possible. The lovely thing about the neighborhood that goes to Sawmill is there's only one road in. The bad thing about the neighborhood is there's only one road in. And this pipe is where it crosses. So if this pipe failed, people couldn't get in and out like physically without steel plates and emergencies being done. So it's good that we're getting this done as quickly as possible.
Also wanted to just remind everyone, we received $250,000 in grants that will pay. It's not going to pay for all the engineering. There's a lot of environmental work done, but should pay for a substantial amount of construction.
Thank you, Scott.
Good job.
Are there any other questions or comments? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thanks, everybody. Next on the list is just the meeting schedule. This is just informational, and we will post. This is for the budget, believe it or not. Getting close to budget season here. We will get this up on the website, but the first budget workshop will be on October 14th, 2025. The first presentation of the budget will be October 28th. Second presentation slash authorizing the advertisement of the budget. Wishes to do that would be on November 18th. Budget adoption is scheduled for December 9th. And we also scheduled December 16th. If the budget is not adopted on December 9th, we do it on the 16th. So that is just informational and no board action is required. Dave and I, our treasurer, we're working right now with staff. We're meeting with our directors and getting their budget requests. So from our perspective, the process has already started, but our first board meeting will be on October 14th. And next on the list, I have some updates here. First is Newlandville traffic calming project. We have a pre-construction meeting this week with the contractor, and construction is scheduled to begin the middle of September on that project. I should have some more updates after the meeting this week with the contractor.
Did you notify the community there that it's gonna start until September?
We're waiting to go through the pre-construction meeting, which is this
Okay.
week,
And
and
then
after
you're
that,
gonna-
we'll provide those updates. Just want to confirm the exact start date, but we're looking at middle of
And
September.
how will you notify them? Send mail or flyers or?
We'll probably discuss that tomorrow during the pre-construction meeting. Figure out how we're going to notify. That'll be one of the topics.
Is that something that contractor normally does for us, or do we usually do it?
Combination of both.
Have a dealer's choice.
We'll work with them. We want to make it easy for them. So
I think you had said, Scott, it's probably about a week or two of actual construction,
that sounds about right.
during the daytime, part-time.
During the day, yes. Yeah, both, and there'll be a lane of traffic, so we're not looking at stopping all traffic on there.
Excellent.
Any other questions from the board? Okay. Next is the municipal building project. Just want to provide an update there as well. If you recall, the township received $550,000 toward engineering and architecture of the project. Right now, we are working with HUD. We want to get moving on this. We have a grant. We have to meet the federal requirements right now set by HUD. It's nice that we have the money, but we also have to get the grant agreement in place. So we are working with them diligently so that the township, once we get that grant agreement in place, the township will be able to, next step would be formally approve an architect. That's the next part of the process. I wanted to mention that there's currently 2 vacancies on that board. We did advertise that on the homepage of the website. There's also vacancies for the Historical Commission as well, but if you go on the website, you'll see that there's a vacancy. So we're looking for residents to join that committee. And we've also placed a tab on the township website. We've got a lot of questions for residents. There will be information in the next newsletter, which comes out in October, the printed newsletter. We've also placed a tab on the township website. It's up on there now called Project Updates. There's, again, if you go on there now, you'll see the information, but we will update the page as we move forward. So that's all I have on the municipal building committee. And then I wanted to provide an update on the Mortonville Bridge that collapsed. Our township engineer recently wrapped up its environmental testing. They did survey work, wetlands delineation, and a PNDI clearance. This project is a little bit more complicated. It's not just a bridge collapse. There's also the issue of stream reconstruction and relocation. So we're also working with we're working with Chester County Conservation District. We are looking at relocating or reconstructing the stream. The hope is that the collapse won't happen again. That obviously makes the project more complicated, but we have, fortunately, we have some well-qualified people here working with the township to make sure this is done correctly. Regarding funding, the township secured $250,000 in grants for the project, which is not going to cover the entire amount, but we are waiting on additional grant as well, and we will find out about that one in the fall.
Scott, if I could throw some ideas out and you can fill in the blank or correct me. My understanding is obviously the bridge came out and we're securing funding and we're trying to get that 20-foot span. Like calling it a bridge is kind of funny, but it's out. But my understanding of what you were telling us is that the stream restoration is a way of fixing the stream upstream of the bridge, because part of the scour or problem with that bridge is that stream, I guess, is more stressful to the bridge itself.
Correct, and I'm not an expert on this, obviously, we want the township engineer here, but the stream itself and the reconstruction would affect the length of the bridge. So we can't move forward with engineering until we know if we're doing stream work or not. So that's what, I don't want to say it's holding us up, but we're waiting for the conservation district to do its work.
Okay. So the idea was the stream restoration, which is just above the stream, right? I mean, as far as where the water flows,
Correct.
is if you've ever been out there, the stream is making a hard right and left, and you just can imagine the water tearing into that bridge.
That's the issue right now. If you look at the stream, it makes a sharp turn. There's major erosion there. And when the water comes through the bridge, it takes a major pounding.
So my understanding is by doing this, we're giving that bridge more of a chance to be successful in the long term.
That's what we're looking at right now, whether we can relocate it or not.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Is there any new business?
I did
Oh, I-
want to ask Scott to put a line item for the municipal building for the budget. We could add
We'll talk. I will discuss that with Dave when we meet.
All right, moving on, to our legal report.
Sure, so the first thing on the agenda is coming out of an executive session last month with the board. There's, we obviously have the plastic bag ban, single-use plastic bag ban ordinance that was adopted last October. It went into official effect, I think beginning of May, toward the end of April. One of the discussion points with the board, particularly with the change in the composition of the board, is what do we want to do with this ordinance? If it's something the board is still interested in. The discussion point that came out of that is consider whether imposing a moratorium on that ordinance to give the board additional time to review it, study it, do public outreach if it feels necessary, and then decide which way it wants to go. So there's a draft resolution to that effect, which is in the packet.
I make a motion approving resolution number 2025-17, establishing a 6-month moratorium on the implementation and enforcement of the single-use plastics ban ordinance 2024-01, and directing the township manager to conduct a survey on the implementation of the ordinance.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the residents? Yes, please approach the.
Yeah, Matt, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. I dropped off, just some informational,
Gotta say
things
your
from,
name.
John Nielsen, East Battlefield Township. I dropped off some informational from Penn State Extension. If anyone wants to see it, they're all there. We're talking about it. I just wanted to read one thing real quick, and we'll take a little bit. It's Article 1, Declaration of Rights of the Pennsylvania Constitution. It's the natural resources and
of the public estate. The people have the right to clean air, pure water, and to the preservation of natural, scenic, historic, and aesthetic values of the environment. Pennsylvania, public natural resources are the common property of all, the people, including generations yet to come. As these resources are the Commonwealth shall conserve and maintain them for the benefit of all the people. It's in the Pennsylvania Constitution that it's your duty to protect and preserve the environment. I would help the board and the EAC will with any type of outreach or any type of anything that you need as far as developing a survey, if that's needed. So I'd be glad to do any outreach that you need done, but please call me if you need that help.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Mike?
Mike, man. I'm really glad that you guys decided to get together and take another look at this. We really appreciate it. And anybody that wants to continue is more than welcome to come up to Triple Fresh and be a cashier for an hour and see what those people go through. Trying to charge people for bags, tell them to get their own bags, but they can't take stuff out the
Excuse me,
door.
Mike.
So sorry, direct it this way, but that's my point. If anybody that wants to do it, there's one business that relies on that in this town, in this township, and that's ours. So if anybody thinks that this is a great idea, that's the only outreach you need. Please come up and talk to our customers just for an hour. And again, see what our cashiers have to go through every day trying to enforce this. And then see if how that weighs with the environmental effects that maybe you see, maybe we don't. But thank you.
Thank you. All right, call for the vote.
I have a comment. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Shane, you know me, Norma. So, I guess that implies it's unconstitutional to repeal this ban. I think we'll do more for the environment, by placing maybe more recycling bins. I know 7T's offered to put a recycling bin in their stores, in lieu of the ordinance, the ban. They already have it at Triple Fresh. We have Jahaco that is in Coatesville and they make products out of these plastic bags. So I don't know if we have any constitutional issues with the microplastics and the plastic bags if we just put them in our. Thank you.
Thank you. Wilson?
Well, I've been reading about the nanoplastics. Probably why I have no business drinking water out of this bottle. But I voted for that ordinance thing. Thought it was a good thing. But I do know that it's become a political football, this ordinance, because, we got guys running for supervisor that are selling bags with, with the name of the township website changed by the last three letters of the alphabet.
We're not selling, they're free.
But still, it's a good thing. So again, we have, if I don't like something good, I guess I'm selling pizza, then I just run for supervisor. And then we'll say you can still have cardboard boxes, but I voted for this. I stand behind it. And I believe that a township should enforce its ordinances. We have a duty to do that. But because this is such a political football, all of a sudden the board wants to back away and revisit under the guise of getting rid of it anyway. Thank you.
Thank you.
I like to make a point.
Township government's messy. We have elected officials, we have staff, we have police, and then we have our volunteer committees. And the volunteer committees are really important. That's why we are always asking for people to fill the seats on historical, environmental, planning, park and rec, building committee. That's where the community can try to percolate and incubate some ideas. An idea came out of the EAC, and it's a good idea in concept. I guess the point I want to make is I'd ask that when ideas, this is just me talking, when ideas come out from the committees or they're thinking about, hey, maybe we should do this. Bounce it up the chain. I mean, the chain of command is supervisors and then you all. So before, say, you get all the way down to the finish line with an idea, whatever it is, vet it maybe internally or present it and don't just bring it as a finished product. So I don't think, I'm talking kind of vaguely, but it's the strategic thinking that I would like our boards to practice to help them succeed. The EAC is just starting off. It's an amazing organization, a lot of brain power there, a lot of people with ideas. And EAC is a very broad category. They can do a lot of great things. But ideas have to get vetted. And even if it's just, hey, we're thinking about, making everybody drive electric. What do you think? Like, before it becomes an ordinance and we spend a lot of time and energy, writing ordinances or crossing the T's, not the I's. Let's just chew the fat over it before we commit. And I just say that for anything. The ordinance with the plastic bags came out of a lot of science and good intention, but I think it kind of jumped the shark in just how it worked out. And I'm not casting blame on anybody. I'm saying I think the board can help with guidance and staff can help with guidance. And we want to help our boards succeed so they don't spend a lot of energy and think they're just that they're done, but that, hey, let's give it that reality check before we, make it a done deal. That's just my 5 cents for it.
I don't think I used my 3 minutes. Could I say something?
Yes, just the public.
That's great. I believe in that. And you're welcome to your opinion. Not once did either of you mention how the residents, right? And I think that's an important issue because you are representatives. So I understand
Can I
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just get out of footnote?
Absolutely.
By me talking about the volunteers, I meant the entire committee.
Okay, because I know.
The committees are like the actual physical people who are really talking about it, but like we talked about surveys or getting the challenges you always negotiate is trying to get enough feedback to make his best informed decisions.
And I understand. And in this case, right, the EAC did not reach out to anyone else. So they unilaterally pushed that to who was then on the board of supervisors to put this up for a vote. So it didn't really have any survey or community outreach other than a full room, right, standing room only, to say we don't want this, right? And I think that would have been representative of the whole township. Maybe not, right? I've always said if 80% of people wanted this bag ban, you wouldn't hear from it. So it's not a political football as it's been described. It's you guys are representatives, right? Yes, I want to be a representative, but then you have to represent not yourself, not what you read in some nanoplastics book. You are a representative of everybody in this township, right? That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Philip, East Fallowfield Township. In regards to that, this is a right to know thing that I'm still waiting a couple months on to get a response from. So it had to do with the plastic bag thing. Now, my wife is in favor of this and I support that and I support her for that. What I don't support is a board unilaterally making a decision without the survey that you're now talking about doing. You passed a bill with no regard to the people behind it. 0. So what I'm gonna ask is what I put in for my right to know is what documented evidence did you have at the time of that vote that said the majority of the taxpayers in this town wanted that ban? And I do want an answer. What documented evidence do you have? That the majority of the taxpayers in this town wanted you to ban the bags? Does anybody have an answer? Because I think you don't.
So.
Especially considering that you're now gonna do a survey after you already passed something that you didn't do a survey on in the first place. This question is gonna come up again on something, on a different matter later today. But I'd really love that answer, the documented evidence. You don't have it, because now you're gonna do your survey. That is overreach. Nobody asked for it. Not enough of the taxpayers asked for it. Again, my wife, she asked for it. I didn't, but she did. I support her. I support her decision-making skills, but I don't support you unilaterally making decisions without genuinely finding out what we, the taxpayers, think.
Okay, please make sure that we're using the language. Okay. All right, I make a motion, approving resolution number 2025-17, establishing a 6-month moratorium on the implementation and enforcement of the single-use plastics ban ordinance 2024-01, and directing the township manager to conduct a survey on the implementation of the ordinance. We've had our comment period, call for the vote.
Second of that.
Cat did earlier.
Oh, thank you.
Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 And then, thank you. And then in the new business, just 2 litigation updates. First is with the lawn matter. This is Lenley Paris. The township has a contempt order against Mr. Mon for stormwater management violations. And he's now secured an engineer and paid money into court to rectify his issues. So it's been a long process to chase him and several times to the court. So that seems to be getting good forward progress. Otherwise, question was raised by one of the supervisors, and I'll put it in our monthly reports. For the Fieldstone matter, this is one where, if you remember, last fall, the township engineer completed their review of the open items in that development. In December of last year, an attorney in our office sent the demand notice to the surety, to the travelers. He's no longer with us, but I had another attorney take it over. I couldn't find anything in the file as to whether they responded or not. So we issued a new demand letter to travelers again for that amount. This time trackable mail. And he did put a call into them today to find out where it is in their process, and the person that he spoke to didn't know, was gonna get back to him. I know the HOA has a new attorney, he's in the office, or he's in the audience, so they're obviously keen on keeping forward progress, and we're obviously keen on working together with them to the extent the township can help address the issue with the improvements.
Mike, is there any other prong to that approach, or is that's
So-
pretty much the path that legally we can follow as the township?
So there are other prongs, and it would be going after the developers. We want to use that as a second step after the security, because that will be a longer process. You don't know whether that's going to bear fruit, because a lot of times developers, when they come through, are single purpose entities. And so it's a chase through the corporate structure to try to get it. Further complicating this one is the history of it. This was a initial developer was bankrupt, and then it flipped between 2, if not 3 other developers along the way, where some homes had been built, and it was kind of scattershot of units that were in and not in when the final developer came through. There's a third option, and this one isn't really the township's for to carry, but the HOA declarations do impose certain requirements on the declarant, which would have been, again, that entity. In terms of them completing it or them posting other security to complete the improvements. So those things are not off the table, but I think we want an answer from the surety as to the money, which is 1.4 million or so, toward to see whether we can take that, and then we'll have to triage and working with the HOA for what are the most important remaining things that are out there? And what can we do with the money that's out, that's pulled from this to complete that?
So there's a dollar amount that everybody's kind of agreed is kind of the punch list. The surety is the entity that we're trying to bring that money to us in order to complete the improvements. Whatever improvements are still need to be done, is being coordinated with the HOA and our township engineer.
And that'll change, because the last township engineer review letter or review punch list of that was last fall or last December. And I'm sure that's, things have not gotten better.
Just from wear and tear over time. It'll be
Yeah.
fresh, but whatever needs to be made whole will eventually be made whole.
Well, I can't say that, because these are complicated things and you're chasing sometimes defunct entities. The other thing that's open is I believe the stormwater management or the NPDS permit with the county conservation district is open. And so between the roads and stormwater management, those are two key aspects of it that we're obviously looking to get concluded. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mike.
May I briefly comment?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Elliot Burton. I'm an attorney at Gothic Greenwood PC based in Westchester. I'm here with a board member from Pelham Community Association. Appreciate Mr. Crotty's report. I just want to supplement by saying that this issue and the issues that were so succinctly summarized have been pending for a super long time. I was reading a letter from Mr. Pompo regarding the bond that was authored in 2013. Mr. Crotty's office issued a demand on the bond for $1.4 million in December and has heard nothing. So we would urge the supervisors and Mr. Crotty's office to aggressively follow up with travelers, because $1.4 million might go a good ways towards resolving the public improvements only. These are the things that were included in the development agreement way back for over a decade ago. That I'm sure your predecessors insisted that were included in the development requirements. And I'm sure we'll all benefit by getting those things taken care of. So we're going to be working closely with Mr. Crotty's office and talking about ways to try to get travelers, which is a big insurance company, and I fully expect them not to turn over the money. We're going to have to work hard to get them to honor the bond, which is issued a very long time ago. I think the bond might have been dated 2006 or something like that.
Or 09 maybe?
Yeah, it's a really, really long time ago. So I hope that you'll all stay on top of this. We're certainly going to be dealing with Mr. Crotty's office with some frequency to try to make some progress here. What I'm hearing though is, from a legal perspective, there doesn't seem to be any tangible leverage on the surety to be timely with their response and or payment of what they insured. Well, that's a fascinating question, sir. I don't necessarily agree with that. Well, what I'm saying is I'm looking for, as a representative of the township, I'm looking for what our legal professional leverage is to try to give some hope that this is going to get resolved. If somebody issues a bond, one presumes that, these bonds, they're not really conditional. Make a demand,
Right.
they're supposed to pay. So we're probably looking at a lawsuit. That would be the leverage. You travelers have breached your contract by refusing to comply with your obligations under the bond. That's what we would suggest. So we will be working with Mr. Crotty's office on what best ways to do just that. Okay. Well, I'm glad the HOA is properly represented and you're working with our solicitor. Oh, absolutely. And I'm grateful that you guys have given us the time and are paying attention to this issue. Thank you so much. Yeah, what those things, if I lived there, I'd be. Oh, see, this is worse than the Superior Court. My time is up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have for my report.
All right, thank you, Mike. All right, move on to Park and Recreation. The report was submitted. We have a request from Wild Rec LLC requesting reduced fee for field permits. Scott, you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, we received this request in August. It's a for-profit company, but they have, homeschool kids that practice soccer. So they are looking, for those kids to come to our township park to practice, soccer on our field. They asked for a reduced fee. I don't have any problem with the use. You know, I think it's a good thing. They asked for a reduced fee. In our fee schedule, the fee's $100 a day for non-residents, $50 a day for residents. I know not all the participants are township residents, but some are, in addition to a $250 a day security fee. So they are requesting $25 a day for use of the field. It's the board's discretion whether they want to reduce the fee or not. They're willing to. They already added us to their insurance, so they are gung ho about coming here. But again, it's the board's discretion whether they want to do.
So my question is, what would be the fee if they hadn't asked for any type of relief? What would be charging of them off the menu?
I mean, again, there's kind of a gray line there. It's $100 a day for non-residents, 50 for residents. Some of the participants on their team are $50 a day. So I don't see any reason to charge them $100 a day. I think the board should select either 25 or 50.
And I think they're talking about 6 individual dates.
Yeah,
Correct,
there's 6 dates
yeah.
between the dates of September 12th and October
So
6th.
is there,
Six dates.
is there,
There's 6 Friday, days. So they would pay whatever the fee that we decide for
Yes.
each of those days. Now, the $250 deposit per day, that is paid, for damages, right? Is that?
Yeah, and I think that could be adjusted as well. We could go there after each session just to make sure the field is okay.
Right, so it wouldn't be 250 times 6, it'd be 250, and if everything's full, it goes on to the next.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
so I'm hearing $250 and $25. So they would pay a total of $25 per each day and just provide one $250 security.
I mean, that's the board's discretion.
That-
My recommendation would be either 25 or 50 and $250 deposit.
I'll try this. I'll make a motion approving the request from Wild Rec LLC to pay a reduced fee of $25 per day for the 6 days and a $250 single security for a field permit in Township Park for youth soccer activities held on Fridays from September 12th to October 7th.
Second. Are there any questions or comments?
And just to clarify now, that's $25 a day, you said?
I think, did I understand that correctly?
25 a day.
That's what you were saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
25 a day and just a single $250.
Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments?
Just a quick word, Scott. Do you know how many
Hold on,
people?
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kat's-
Do they have a, like a person there for like first aid or anything when they play up there, Scott, you know, or Terry? You
Sorry.
know, they have,
Um,
like, someone for first aid in case something.
That I don't know.
Okay,
I
I
would
see we have
imagine
like
like a company would have somebody, company that does this kind of activity, I'm sure they have somebody trained.
at least we have fire and aid, that's close by, right?
Not for 20 kids,
Huh?
it's only 20 kids.
All right, do we have any questions or comments from the residents?
It's only 20 participants, I heard that.
Yes, 20.
20 participants.
I call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
And
Okay, we have a request from Chester County Master Gardeners to use the Park Pavilion for a picnic. I make a motion approving the request from Chester County Master Gardeners to use the Park Pavilion on September 14th from 3 to 6 p.m. for up to 75 people for a picnic.
Second,
Any questions or comments from the board?
Claire, just wanted to add, the only reason we have that on there, Master Gardeners, they actually help us with our pollinator gardens, so they volunteer for us. The only reason we have that on the agenda is because it's over 75 people per our ordinance. The board has to approve that, so.
All Are there any questions or comments? All right, call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thank you. On the planning commission, there was no report provided. The police department, the July police report submitted for board and resident review. Is approving updated policies for the police department. I make a motion to approve the following updated policy for the police department, authorized weapons and ammunition.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the residents? Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Purchase of ballistic shields. I make a motion approving the purchase of 2 ballistic shields in the amount of $4,385.92 from Whitmer Public Safety Group from the township's capital fund.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Can we have the chief come explain the, purchase?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There for 2 ballistic shields. The department currently employs 1 shield, which was, to the best of my knowledge, given to the department in 2009 by the county, as part of their grant funding at that time. They have a lifespan of approximately 10 years, so that would have taken it till 2019. Not the saying anybody neglected their duties and not updating this equipment, but it has not been updated. And that shield should be retired. The officers do train with the shield at the range. It is an industry standard to have a ballistic shield access in order to respond to barricaded subjects, armed persons, or an active shooter type event. The reason for 2 shields is we generally have 2 officers on duty, and the shield would be in each officer's car. So in the event that one officer is on the other side of the township, when an event happens on a certain side of the township, that each officer would have that valuable piece of equipment available to them in that emergency situation.
The equipment's always with the officer or whatever shift.
On duty, they transfer from car to car, depending on their car assignment that day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? All right, call for the vote.
Aye.
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 And there's a proposal from JPG Contracting Incorporated for repairs to the police department floor. Make a motion authorizing the township manager to sign a proposal from JPG Contracting to repair and install a section of flooring in the police department in the amount of $3,600 from the township's capital fund.
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the residents?
Claire, just wanted to mention real quick, this is really a safety issue here. We're not looking to make too many upgrades to that existing building, but it's just an uneven floor there. We identified problems there. We just want to correct. So.
Very good. Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 Thank you. The Public Works Department, July Road Department, report was submitted for the board and resident review. The Environmental Advisory Council, there was no report submitted. The Historical Commission, there was no report submitted. Is there any old business? Not public comment, right?
Okay.
Thank you. Any old business from the board to discuss? Is there any new business?
Maybe, just for informational purposes. They had, I believe it was last week, I don't think it was 2 weeks ago, I don't have the actual date. But there was a celebration in the community for period of healing for Zachariah Walker and Mr. Rice. So very first section of the community from Coatesville, East Fallowfield, Parksburg, Sandbury, from the surrounding communities, and it was, to bury the remains of Mr. Walker. And I think, what was good that came out of this was that the Rice family was contacted, but they were not able to make it, this way, to, become part of the celebration. But the fact that they were included. So it was a good thing for the community. There was also a parade that went down 82. The remains were over at the Church of God in Christ, and the luncheon had taken place, in Marksburg.
Thank you. All right, we open it up for public participation. As a reminder, please come to the podium, identify yourself, name and address, and we'll have 3 minutes. Terry, yes, please.
I can't read this in 3 minutes, so I'm Terry Dickinson, down the road. It's very hard for me. Since 2019, I have served on the Parks and Recreation Board and was appointed chairperson in 2021. I took my role seriously, and under my leadership, we developed a mission statement and set of core values. We pledged to provide safe, well-maintained parks, preserve our natural resources, strengthen community bonds by providing quality programming for people of all ages. I have an amazing team of volunteers who put countless hours into developing no-cost programs for East Battlefield residents. We currently hold 11 events and span summer months, but we are not solely about events. In 2024, the newly developed open space and recreation plan was completed, and Parks and Rec team began to look at several items put forth in that plan. Now, I'm going to have to skip this whole part in the middle, but I will leave this report for anybody up there to, I put some of our accomplishments with board approval. We had a CPSI, which is playground inspector, look at our equipment, and we also invited 3 playground companies to part. Our swings were no longer up to current code, and replacement was warranted and installed last spring. The park pond. It's also in the open space. For the past 6 months, I have been investigating what could be done to preserve the pond, restock it, and make it fishable again. I kept the township manager, my parks team, the head of our local pond watch, and Supervisor Wright informed of any site meetings and provide them with copious notes of potential solutions. My intention was to be able to provide the Board of Supervisors with the information they could use when considering how and when to address the pond problem. There's also a problem with invasives that Mr. Nielsen and I walked through, and safety of our trees that are dead in the park. We marked them. That applies to our core value of a safe and well-maintained park. This is the part that's hard, and I don't care if that buzzer is off. My sense of pride in all that my team and I have been able to accomplish came to an abrupt end last Wednesday, August 20th. After attending our parks meeting the night before, Supervisor Wright sent out an email to all the supervisors and copied me as well on it, which I don't know why. He stated that certain items on our agenda was, quote unquote, a waste of the Parks and Rec Board's time and energy. He continued by writing that in quotes, globally, the Parks and Rec Board is suffering from a lack of direction from the Board of Supervisors on priorities and strategic goals and objectives. He goes further to state that the Park and Rec Board has spent a lot of time and effort in researching the repair renovation of the pond, but was never given any guidance from the Board of Supervisors on where the pond lies as overall priority. Supervisor Wright was appointed the board liaison last month, and I'm glad he stepped down. Mr. Wright certainly could have spoken to me directly if he had any concerns or questions concerning Parks and Rec priorities. I think we organize our priorities very well. Everything that we have done has been for the betterment of our community. We do the legwork, present it to the township manager and supervisors, and they take it from there. It is then up to them to prioritize the needs of the township. I provide the board with monthly reports, and if they are even read, I have made the Parks and Rec agenda very clear. Mr. Wright's emails conclude with, and I want all the chair people of our committees to understand this whole sentence. Our various commissions, boards, and committees are floundering with no clear direction. I don't know about other boards or commissions, but I am not floundering. Nor do I feel that Parks Board is lacking direction. We have the direction. What I do know is that this email sent by one supervisor was so insulting to all of the various boards that are staffed by volunteers. I'm not sitting down. I'm leaving after this, and who selflessly devote their time and efforts to make East Fallowfield a better place. I will end with some advice for the board. In order to get respect, you need to give respect. Be mindful of your speech, your emails, your texts to residents, volunteers, and township employees included. Effective immediately, I regrettably resign.
Terry,
Oh, Terry, I'm-
Terry, before you leave,
No.
I just want to say that I am sorry.
So much,
He is not speaking for the board,
but I know he is
supervisor,
one
and
man
he is
has
king,
done that to me.
king of the emails. So I apologize.
You don't have
I
to
do,
apologize.
I do
I was
not,
expecting an
do
apology
not feel
from you,
like that.
Mr. Wright, and you have not reached out to me. You knew on Wednesday morning how upset I was. So on that, I'm out of
Terry,
here.
I'm very sorry.
Enjoy.
I'm sorry. But he's not speaking for the board.
I
In fact,
know.
he's speaking for himself.
I understand that.
He's speaking for himself.
It's-
All right. I
I-
hope you
I've
reconsider.
dealt with this for 4 years with this man.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop. Sorry, Terry.
Watch your face, wow.
Oh, no.
Further public participation, any further comments?
Philip, East Fallowfield Township. Township building. As we just learned with bag ban, it appears this board has a ready, fire, aim method of going about things. Is that y'all's intention for the township building? Except for this time, instead of it just being some bags that cost you guys and town and the taxpayers pretty much not a lot, not anything that's of any value whatsoever. This time it'll cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for you to ready, fire, aim. So I would like to know, just like I did
Can you lower
before,
your voice, please? Thank you.
I would love
I would
to,
like
but I have a
you to
hearing
know.
issue, and if you can't deal with my volume
But
control,
you're yelling.
I,
Can you lower?
what did I just say?
All right. That's true. Yeah.
I do not hear well.
But I can hear you.
Yes,
yelling.
but I can't hear me.
I understand that.
No, you clearly don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so as I was saying, I would like to know, as I put in before and still have not received a response over a couple of months now, for a, what is it called? Right to know. I thought you guys were supposed to respond to those. Is that not a thing? Oh, well, it isn't. I would like to know what documented evidence you have as a board that says the majority of the taxpayers in this town know about and approve of a $12 million vanity project, which is truly what it is. You guys said the quiet part out loud. Oh, if we have a fancy building, businesses will come to our town. Just do what every other town does and give them 10 years tax-free. That's what everybody else does. So I'm just curious, where's the evidence? Where's the known documented proof that our town has begged you guys to spend 12 million, guaranteed to be more than that, dollars of our money. You guys are supposed to represent us, and you're not doing it. You're not doing it at all. You're literally just ready, fire, aim. You just proved it with the bag ban. You literally just rescinded your own decision making, which shows me and the people behind me that your decision making skills aren't very good. Because you're just doing something, oh, well, it would be neat to do this, so we'll just vote yes. Maybe send out an arbitrary no every once in a while. So you don't have the evidence. I would like to know what compels you as a board to move forward with such a high tax liability with no imperial evidence of our town actually wanting it. Yes, I want us to have a nice building and a better police station because they're working out of a shack. That's ridiculous. That should have been taken care of years ago. But I work in construction. I know what a framed building costs versus other methods of construction. What is your mindset here? And again, more than anything, where is the evidence that we want this?
Thank you. Teacher, her hand up was up before you, Shane.
Oh, yes, go for it. No, you're fine, you're fine.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to project because I really cannot hear. When you're up here at the podium, your voice is projected this way and you can hear us, but we can't hear the speaker.
Are you able to hear us?
Can we slide the podium kind of a little bit to help?
I mean, even on an angle,
It's fine.
at least
And
the
still
voice,
get the camera, okay?
the projection is there.
That's fine.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
I appreciate it because in years past, we did have a microphone system because I can't even hear nor understand what is going on from here, from Scott. So please, we'd like to hear you. You are our representatives. I want to extend an invitation, use my teacher's voice. I want to extend to you an invitation for Thursday, September 11th at the East Fallowfield Elementary School at 10 a.m. For a 911 memorial service. If you are available, please do come. It's a very moving service. And our chief is also going to be there. He's graciously been there ever since he's been on board. So we thank him for his service and all the first responders. We acknowledge them during this sad moment, but we should be acknowledging them every day because we need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
10 o'clock at the school.
All right, thank you, Shane.
I'm gonna swing this around a little more. And I don't know if the intent is for like the camera to pick it up or you
No, the
guys
intent
hear
is that you
everybody.
Address the board.
Okay.
And the camera also to be.
Okay. So quickly, let's see, what's the most important here? Did we do a traffic study yet at Newlandville? Because we said before construction starts, which apparently is in 3 weeks, give or take, there would be a traffic study that's done.
I'm sorry.
You want me to answer the question?
Sure.
Do you want me to answer the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, there was a traffic study done, pre-study.
Okay. Is that publicly available?
I have not even received it yet, no. Our
Oh, we're-
engineer has.
Are we, okay. So we're gonna start, are you gonna see it before we start construction?
Shane, please address.
Like, are we gonna see, can we see the traffic study before we start construction?
I don't believe that Scott has received it yet.
I'm just asking if we can see it before we start
We will-
construction.
we will know
And that's, I don't think that's a lot to ask. Also, potentially, could we use $150 from soccer to get a digital timer? Because I think Dave's gonna have a heart attack and he's holding it so that it's not ticking while people are talking. It's kind of obnoxious. I also have it on pseudo good authority that the East Fallowfield Elementary may be up for sale. So I don't know if that's something that we could look into again instead of this. I mean, if we're gonna spend the money, we might as well potentially rehab a historic building. So it might be worthwhile to reach out to the superintendent or whoever's in charge of that. Things may have changed. Let's see what else we have. I did want to ask Chief, I don't know if you remember the fatality that was at the Newlandville near that area. Did we ever figure out what caused the fatality?
The motorcycle going into a tree.
It was a motorcycle. Okay, I didn't even realize it was a motorcycle. Okay, but it wasn't, no drug, no alcohol.
We haven't got the coroner's report back.
Oh, we still, okay, all right. Just checking, thank you. And then with the township building, I know I don't think there's been a municipal meeting, but have any designs changed or? There's no change, okay. See, we're running out of time. Also, I know we were asked to remove our banners. I don't know if the township is exempt because the park picked up 4 foot by 8 foot banners. I don't think there's anything, at least that I could see, that allows that. I don't know if that's a karate question, but I was trying to look for the ordinance on what allows the township to have a 4 by 8 foot banner.
I would answer that.
Yes, Mike, please.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We actually talked about that with the zoning officer. The township is allowed up to 25 square feet, so that is being removed. There's gonna be a permit submitted by the township itself to the zoning officer for that and reduced it to 24 square feet.
And so there's no difference between sign and banner because if it doesn't specifically state banner, I guess under the building code, it's considered a sign.
A sign is.
But I'm assuming a 4 square foot, they're referring to like a yard sign. So I don't know if there's anything we can do to have any other sort of political paraphernalia that's bigger than, you know, our standard 18 by 24 inch yard sign. We were trying to not have yard signs because people hate yard signs. We figured we'd get 3 nice big banners and put them around the township. It would save us some money. It would save a lot of waste. But obviously we ran into some difficulties with that. That was it. I would just interpret the 4 foot to mean a yard sign, but I guess it counts for everything.
There's a whole complicated. Touch base with the zoning officer. He'll be able to guide you through.
Is that Rob?
Rob.
Oh, yeah, I've talked to him.
1601.
Yeah. I'm just saying that my interpretation is it's talking about a yard sign. 4 square feet is not very big, right? 18 by 24 is 3 square feet. So I think it's beyond Rob's, pay grade. So I don't know who would be beyond that. Is it the board that would have to potentially?
To change the ordinance?
Right, I mean, or to clarify or to add details, right?
Oh, so that's Rob.
Rob can change,
He can't change anything. He's got to review and interpret the ordinance and apply it as he.
but he can interpret it differently if he wants. I mean, so he subjectively interpreted that to, we need to take our sign down because it's less than 4 square, or it's more than 4 square.
No, I don't know what I
I don't know if you're.
told him as to it. His job is to interpret the ordinance and apply it as things come.
Okay, all right, so he has sole discretion. So we can,
He's kind of like our police officer of zoning.
Yeah.
We can't go tell the chief like, hey, go pull somebody over for speeding.
Okay.
That would be good. Same thing with the zoning officer. Their job is to review the words in the ordinance, interpret them, apply them as they're written. And if anyone disagrees with them, they can appeal to the zoning board.
okay, that's the $1,500 ordeal to have a
Whatever
meeting
it
with
is,
the board. Okay, but that can't be the supervisors just updating the ordinance or amending.
Well,
the
it could be a change in the ordinance if someone.
That would probably be better than a $1,500 hearing on someone's subjective interpretation of the code. Okay, all right, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, Fred.
Okay, name's Fred White, 109 Danbury. And, I've been on the park committee for a number of years. Back in 2023, I was tasked with finding out basically what should be done to fix up our pond. The first thing I did was contact the Agricultural Extension Service. They in turn hooked me up with the Pennsylvania Fish Commission. Waterways Patrolman came out, looked, said, how deep's the pond? How much silt is there? I said, I have no idea. We don't even know the actual size of the pond. I have no idea what the depth is in the center, this, that, and the other thing. I kind of guessed that we were probably around 10 feet. And from the looks of it, we probably had about 5 feet of silt in it. Okay, then I called the Fish Commission, contacted me with the Pennsylvania Fish Commission biologist at Nixon. He came down, took a look, shook his head. He says, I don't know what to tell you. He says, I suggest you contact Toth Brothers and let them come out, take soundings of the lake, see how much sediment, and this, that, and the other thing are there, and write a recommendation. Well, I contacted Toth Brothers. Unfortunately, the day that Michael Toth came out, It was pouring down rain. We couldn't get out in the dinghy to take a float test. We couldn't sound the lake. We couldn't find out exactly how much silt was there. So Michael said, well, I'll just take your estimate of what is there and go back and write what he called a budgetary consideration letter. To let the township know that if the lake was 10 feet deep and if it had 5 feet of silt, it could cost, I think at the time, it was $160,000 to clean it up. Okay? Nothing was said. Nothing was done for 3 years. Now in 2025, they're contacting people in all over the place, including an outfit called Solitude Lake Management, to come in and apparently give bids on doing something to the pond. Toth Brothers was never contacted. Not in the least. So I called Michael Toth. He came down and actually did a float test. The average depth of the pond is not 10 feet, 5 to 6 feet. The average depth of the silt that I thought was probably 5 feet deep is only 1.5 feet. So basically, we do not need to dredge. We do not need to do any hydro rating.
Did you send, Fred, that report to Scott?
Yes, this report has been sent to Scott. Anyway, I just want to let the board know that problems that we were looking at back in 2023 are not nearly as bad as we originally thought. And we can probably be getting away or under the magic number of having to put everything out for bids and involve all kinds.
And I think,
Did you pay for that assessment? Who paid for that?
Say again?
you didn't pay for that, Fred,
What's that?
the assessment.
Oh,
You did that for us for.
Toth Brothers generally charges $250 for that assessment, but because it's for a youth fishing project, they waive that assessment. They
So-
charge nothing.
I think we need to, discuss what our priorities are. Clearly that's something that we should be paying attention to. And I think as part of our strategic planning and, outlining our priorities and where we need the money to go and what's the most, pressing.
Yeah.
You have sent that information.
Yes.
Good. Because that way we can put it on the agenda and have further discussion about it.
Yeah, Terry, I was actually scheduled to meet with Park and Rec on Thursday. I don't know if that's gonna happen now. So the resignation, but I was supposed to meet with them in the morning
Okay.
to go over this information, so.
All right.
The other observation, Dr. Rowe, the other observation, as we roll into budget season, we ask all our committees that they have projects that they want to get funded to provide our manager with information so they can get on the budget, so that we actually put it in the pipeline. And that the board can decide when, and we can afford.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know whether you got the email, but that's in the email.
Yeah, no, I saw your, thank you.
And that's,
Thank you, Fred.
Okay, thanks, Fred.
We're good. No further public comment? Oh, Connie.
This is how the podium used to be, like, used to come about 10 years ago, so that everybody can hear.
We're back and
We've come full circle.
figured it out.
Although this guy's been here the whole time. Connie McLaughlin, Park Avenue, East Battlefield. Regarding the new building, I just, as a resident, would wonder if we've looked at multiple kinds of construction. I've probably brought this up at a lot of meetings, not just the one in the study they did, but metal buildings, clear span buildings, just because we don't have to have the Taj Mahal. It's weird, I've been coming to meetings and I didn't hear somebody say, we'd like a nice building to draw in businesses, but I have heard it from multiple people, so I obviously missed something. I got you. If we wanna bring businesses in, we need commercial property. We have little to no commercial property. So I don't know who we're bringing in, where we're gonna put them. Second object, as for the sound projection, this gentleman, when he talks, it does seem a little loud, probably coming right at you, but for us behind him, it's nice and clear for us to hear. A lot of this still, I'd have to read your lips, Kat. I can kind of hear Claire, usually Mike, Wilson, and Al, we can hear pretty good. There definitely needs to be microphones or better microphones, because some of you don't project from the get-go or talk and then get quieter. And I'm sure the people online on YouTube will probably say the same. I just have a slight concern. I'm on the historic commission, but I'm not the chairman. I know we didn't submit a report because we haven't met. We don't have anybody coming in and talking to us about properties. But I personally have a concern. There are two properties. The Mount Carmel, they called the school, but it was actually a church. And the Loop Road property, which you've ever driven anywhere around here. Loop Road is a little cutoff road near Triple Fresh, and the one house on it along that Loop Road is sitting there with windows popped out, etc. I have no idea what the inside would look like. And the Historic Commission is only concerned usually with the outside of the building, and then it retains its historic look. The owner of that one and the Mount Carmel School, same owner. Both buildings are pretty much suffering from demolition by neglect. Now, they've started doing some work on the school at Mount Carmel, and I'd love to know if they pulled permits, because they put in a driveway. They put in all new windows on the one side without approval. I think they did the same thing with the roof. They sort of go for forgiveness instead of permission. But these are two, important resources for us in our township. We actually have 300 plus resources, but some of them are more important than others because they stand for more than, just a neat house with a certain kind of instruction. I know Joe has reported some of this to the township. I think it eventually goes to Rob, and he recommends whether or not you guys do anything about it. But I've seen nothing about that, so I just would like to point them out before they get delisted, especially if they're on the National Register.
Connie, what was the property addresses again, so we can look into it?
I don't know the exact address.
Okay.
Mount Carmel School's at Mount Carmel, Strasburg, and it was 4-digit number. And then Loop Road, you're coming off Strasburg at the curve as if you're coming straight to Triple Fresh.
Okay.
It's that little cutoff road, the one they didn't pave properly.
It wasn't a township.
Yeah. They actually,
We'll
I call it tarred and feathered. I know it's chip and tar.
We don't do that. Township doesn't do chip and tar. So that was.
Yeah, and they went right over that pothole.
Thank you.
Township would not do that.
I just wanted to point out, just in summary, and if there's other questions, we have openings on Park and Rec, we have openings on the Historical Commission, right, Connie? And we have, these two openings that are on the Building Committee. So the more people that get involved, hopefully the more that these kind of questions can be worked out in committee and vetted. So I encourage people to fill those positions and bring those ideas to the table.
Deb, you want to come up? Hi, how are you?
Deborah. Minkala, two really quick things. One is kind of a request, if you'll consider it. Full-time working person, I'm sure many of you guys are too. If there's any way to get the full agenda plus the attachments available on Friday. Sorry. If there's any way to get the full agenda plus all of the attachments available online by Friday evening, that would be really, really wonderful. Because by the time you post them on Monday, we're stuck in a loop of full-time job, whatever you have to do at home, kids, extra activities. It's really hard to go through 252 pages in a couple of hours and near impossible. And by the time I could actually get to it, I could actually only get my computer to download like 10 pages. So it was like actually impossible. And then the next one is more for the building, the municipal building. There's, I think, sometimes a lot of confusion about the process and how the process works for building. At what stages things are actually concrete versus just conceptual. The difference between a generalized budget and an actual budget based on something concrete. And I'm wondering if, I know that we're really early in the process. To me, my understanding, it's not a $12 million building. It's the concept of what could it cost for the average size, blah, blah, blah. Is there any way to get an updated kind of timeline explaining where you are in the process so that the public can better understand what those numbers mean, what the data means, and where you actually are, with explanations of where, like, what the phase is in construction?
Right, and that was kind of the hope of the municipal building update requested for this evening. You know, you know, where did we start? Where are we at and where we go? And, you know, there's nothing that's set in stone.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you know, and you're going through projects like that, there's been no, you know, there's no pricing, there's been no estimates, there's been no, you know, approval and no plans presented with a rubber stamp that, yes, this is what we're doing. So I do think it would help everyone and stop a lot of misinformation if we start like, hey, this is where we started.
Yeah.
This is the process. This is what you have to go through. Then you vet it and you say, well, we really don't need that. We don't need 3 of these or 2 of those. Let's trim it down and then present the final. So,
Yeah.
and I think adding people to the building committee will help and then getting meetings back on the books if we haven't had one and also getting a chair for that.
Okay.
I don't have that. So.
Because I actually I was like, oh, I put it on my books myself to kind of go, hey, let me show up, let me ask these questions. I'm like, I know that it's not there
Yeah, we're
because
good.
there's nothing advancing. I get that.
Sure.
In the meantime, while it's still not advancing in process, we could still describe. Yeah,
And
exactly.
then give that, you know, we can present that at our supervisors meeting, so there's an update that's tangible and a timeline. That's specific.
That'd be great.
So, thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
8:02 p.m.